All the above, ladies and gentlemen. All the above. What's up, guys? It's Monday, March 25th, 2024. It's actually Monday today. Yesterday, I apologize. I said it was Monday, and it was Sunday all day. I literally all day yesterday thought it was Monday. And it was weird because I was doing all this stuff and everything else, and something fell off. I was like, wow, for a Monday, it's really, really slow. A lot of the videos I watched, they weren't posting and all this other stuff. That's only happened to me probably 2 or 3 times in my whole life. Like literally the entire day, I thought it was Monday. Crazy. Anyways, I apologize about that. That is the Bitcoin block height, by the way. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things in this video. I'm going to have a candid talk with you. I don't exactly know exactly what I'm going to talk about, but I have a few things on my mind, and this is one of those videos that is not a specific subject. And we're going to be talking about a few things. So let's address the elephant in the room. Donald Trump got his appealed his bond case or whatever, and got it stretched out to 10 days. And he didn't have to pay anything today. And then also, instead of paying $464 million, he only has to pay $175 million. My goodness, man. No man walketh on this earth is perfect. None of us. No man is, right? I've been watching, and I have watched over the years, Republican and Democrat YouTubers go out on the streets and interview people they disagree with, right? Caitlin Bennett is one of them. I used to like her. She was funny. She'd go out there. She's a Republican, and she'd go out there and try to make Democrats look dumb. And then I watch the Democrats do that. A Democrat pundit will go out there with a microphone and try to make Republicans or Trump supporters, specifically Trump supporters, look stupid. And yeah, it's good for entertainment and stuff like that. And I'm sure you guys have watched it. And you know, they get a lot of subscribers and a lot of views and stuff like that. And again, it is entertainment, but you know, I don't like it for the simple fact of it's all about division. You know what I mean? You're basically saying my side is better than yours. And we're all on the same side, guys. You know, even if they don't agree with you, because I'm pretty sure most people, not everybody, because some people really don't like the country, but if you ask most people, and even some of the far lefties, okay, if you ask them, do you love America? You know, if we had to poll a lot of them, I think a lot of them would say yes. Even the far left, guys. I know, you know, the far left is, but, you know, they'll tell you they love America and they feel like their way is better. But what the machine has done is done a great job of dividing us. And if we're divided and fighting amongst each other, it's a great way they can conquer us. And I don't know if we can come together, because no matter who wins in this upcoming election, whether it's Donald Trump in November 2024, or if it's Joe Biden or somebody they replace him with, which I think is going to happen, but who knows? They might just run with him. I don't know. And then, you know, try to do what they did in the 2020 election. I don't think that's going to unite us, okay? Because we're so polarized now, you know, because nobody really cares about Joe Biden. Let's be honest. You guys don't see people that are pro Joe Biden. Now, there are some, a very, very fringe minority. But, you know, if you look at the Democrats, I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 of them that voted for Joe Biden, that was just a vote against Trump. But I could be off by 1 or 2. But we need to do it the best we can as countrymen, as United States of America or American citizens, to try to find common ground. And again, I don't think it's ever been as tough in our history of this country, maybe besides maybe the Civil War, maybe, and even the American Revolution. There were a lot of loyalists to the crown that did not want us to revolt against them. against the crown, and they just felt like, hey, they got the biggest navy, they're doing all these things for us, they're protecting us, you know, we can't go against the king. And that was unthinkable then. But luckily, we went against that, and we fought for our freedom. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough task. I don't know exactly how we can do it. I have a few ideas, but you can't make people not watch what they watch, and it's very hard to unbrainwash somebody that's been brainwashed for so long. It's just tough, you know. And I don't have all the answers, but talking to you guys in particular, I can try to hopefully open the door for you to see that it's not about Republicans and Democrats, and it's not about proving somebody wrong or saying your side is better and Trump good, Biden bad. Again, I am voting for Donald Trump, not because I'm a Republican, not because I think Trump walks on water and Biden doesn't do anything well, even though Biden is not the he's not the best president we've ever had. I'll say that. It's because I'm all about God, family, country, and Bitcoin in that order. And I feel like common sense has been lost in this country and all over the world. And I've always been a common sense person. I'm not the smartest person in the world, that's for sure. I just haven't been. I always struggle in school and stuff like that. So I'm not the most, again, one of the smart guys. But I always try to stay on my common sense game, right? And be reasonable. And even though, again, I'm not that smart, I try to use critical thinking. And if you guys don't know what critical thinking is, Google that. Some sites will give you 5 steps to it. Most maybe give you 6 steps. But when you're analyzing something, just use those 5 or 6 steps, whatever website you look at, and think from things from that perspective. But we got a lot of stuff going on in this country, and people ask me about Donald Trump. Do I think he's going to win the election? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm not a future teller. I don't have a crystal ball. My odds say 70%. My odds say there will be no election. Now, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. I truly believe something big is going to happen. I don't hope it's going to happen, but I think it is. Maybe a power outage, maybe some kind of black swan event that we're not expecting, that nobody can even think of. We have a lot of illegals here in this country. And, our borders are very secure as far as the water on the east and west coast. It's hard to get in from that. But our borders are wide open from the south and the north. Nobody talks about the north border. Vivek Ramaswamy did a great job of that.
That sends a signal to all the illegal migrants. Okay, even now the Democratic administration might be serious about it. Let's fly over to North Country, where many are coming over, right? Not through. They're not going to be jumping these barbed wires on this fence. Of course not. Hiking trail. So, if we take a look at the start of the hiking trail, it's just as though you're here, right? We're on one hand is the hiking trail, beautiful hiking trail. We're going to hike if we have a little bit of time. We have the barbed wire fence surrounding this area. Now, track with me. Here's the hiking trail, goes all the way to Canada, and then here's all of the area without any fence in front of it. Goes behind those beautiful mountains down to a stream over there, maximum 10 yards, shallow stream that you're able to cross. So if you want to cross the border legally, you come here, wait in line or whatever on a day. We're here on a Saturday, so there's not a traffic day. You can come right on in. But let's say you don't want to do it that way for whatever reason. Maybe you're Brazilian ex-military and you've killed 10 people and you want to get into this country illegally. Maybe you're actually somebody who's smuggling more people in this country. You think they're going to come where the barbed wire fence is? I don't think so. You might take the literally more scenic route, the hiking trail, come back around the beautiful countryside, particularly beautiful in autumn now. Leaves are changing, you get a nice view too. And then you cross that stream.
The reason why the United States is such a good, solid country or we're very hard to attack because geographically, we're not in the middle of a bunch of countries. We have Mexico and Canada from the south and the north of us. And then we got two big bodies of waters. And a lot of people don't have that. So if you want to attack America, what do? Do you try to attack from the Pacific Ocean? Do you try to attack from the Atlantic? No. You have open border policies from the south and the north, and you attack from within. And then you let government agencies not only let you in, but help you while you're in, and you can do whatever you want. And if you commit crimes or something like that, they'll protect you at all costs, let you out of jail, and things like that. So that's how they attack you. And to me, that's just pure evil. So that could be a black swan event that could happen that may cause something to the effect of we can't have an election because this, that, and the third. Because again, if you're using critical thinking skills and critical thinking steps, just look at it and say, okay, if there was no election interference, whether there was any or not in 2020, that's up to you to believe. I'm not going to mention that on this channel, but let's just say Joe Biden getting 81 million votes. You know, if I put that in my critical thinking model, yeah. So if everything was fair and balanced and and we had a real election, I'm talking about no electronic ballots, just, one day voting, take a holiday off and everybody vote, I think Trump would win in a landslide over Joe Biden. With I'm talking about no mail-in ballots, no buffoonery, everything above and beyond. It would be the biggest landslide in history, and I think Donald Trump would get the most votes in history. I think he'd get more than 81 million votes. Well, I don't know, because the 81 million Joe got were...
Being dead isn't as scary as people think. You have plenty of time to relax, play some Frisbee, and vote. That's John. He's a ghost because he's dead. He voted 14 times yesterday. And of course we voted for Biden. He closely represents our values because he's the closest to being dead.
Let's just say I see dead people, okay? Anyways, so using those critical thinking skills, and you see how they're attacking Donald Trump, the system is weaponized against him, and you see all these, everything they're doing. I mean, just they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him. And then Joe Biden's disapproval rating and everything that's happened in Israel, and how a lot of leftists that are with the Palestinians are not going to vote for Donald Trump because of the ceasefire stuff, and all the blacks that don't like him anymore, and people are not just watching the mainstream media anymore. They don't have that grip. They still have that grip over some people, but not everyone, because a lot of people are working and stuff like that, and they do listen to podcasts and they do listen to alternative media and stuff like that. But there's still people, again, older people, that will watch mainstream media, and even when they're not watching mainstream media, they'll still watch a leftist TikTok or a leftist person on YouTube or something like that. But at the end of the day, there is no way, in my opinion, using critical skills, that Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump. That's just, in no world, no universe that could happen if everything was fair and balanced. So with that being said, with the clear and obvious, them not wanting Donald Trump to win, do I think they're going to just go in and let the election happen fair and square? No. They have to quote unquote, or for better terms, put their finger on the scale somehow and balance it their way, like I think they did in their last election. So will something happen? I don't know, but I give it a 70% chance that we will not have an election, and the man that's in charge now has to stay in charge because of this quote unquote emergency or something like that going on. And it's not going to be good. When we had a civil war in our official civil war, even during the American Revolution, let's just talk about the Civil War. People didn't realize, we were in a civil war, right? They didn't realize that. And if we do go into a full-blown civil war, it's not going to be everybody fighting. It's just going to be, militias, certain people guarding their land, certain people on the streets. It's not going to affect everybody. But I truly believe that we're already in a civil war to a smaller scale, and we are in a big civil war where everybody just knows. When you look on TV, they'll say the word civil war. I mean, but look what happens out in the streets sometimes. Again, when you go back to these Republican and Democrat, independent journalists or pundits or whatever, going to Trump rallies or going to Biden rallies or LGBTQ rallies or abortion rallies or whatever, and you see them opposing the other side. I mean, look at the vitriol they carry against each other. There's no love there. They all hate each other. I've never seen two presidents so much of a polar opposite. People that like Donald Trump really, really don't like Joe Biden. Some of them hate Joe Biden. But people that a lot of people don't like Joe Biden. People that are Democrats like Joe Biden because they hate Donald Trump. I have met people that really, really like me. And once they found out I wanted to vote for Donald Trump, or I did vote for Donald Trump, they, in their mind, because they're so biased, they think that you have to be a despicable person to vote for Donald Trump. That's what they're taught to believe, because they've been brainwashed. Now, do I think somebody that votes for Joe Biden is despicable? No. I think a lot of those people are just, again, they're brainwashed and they don't understand. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing good about Biden or you can't vote for Biden, but objectively speaking, and again, most people aren't objective. If you come from God family country and look at things objectively and not from your party standpoint or how much you hate someone else, objectively speaking, this is the first time in, I think, over 100 years that we can compare one 4-year president, Donald Trump from 16 to 20, to another 4-year president, back-to-back, Joe Biden, 2020 and 2024, and then see who we want better. And objectively speaking, I mean, I don't care what your policies are. Is your life better under Joe Biden versus Trump or vice versa? But they can't be objective because they're on team left and everything else. So, but again, critical thinking and common sense, which people don't use, and some people don't have, permits them or rejects that thinking. They don't think that way because, again, they're coming from a bias. And that's not good. But what I believe is happening right now, is unfolding right now, because it's March, it's almost April, we're almost at the end of the first quarter of 2024, is that we are headed towards a nasty divide in this country. We're already divided, but I'm talking about really divided, because a lot of times, and this is, again, being objective, and this is not coming from a right winger, I'm just being objective here. In 2020, 2021, when Black Lives Matter and Antifa, tore everything down, it was okay when they did it because they have the big machine behind them. They got, the big corporate media behind them saying that, hey, this is okay because this is what happened and this is the justification. But when January 6th happened, and again, you have to, if you want to weigh which one's better, which one's worse, how do you weigh it? Do you weigh how many lives got lost, how much dollars it cost, how long did it last, how much punitive damage? I don't know. But no matter what metric you weigh it on, and this is just, again, objectively speaking, all those riots around this country, and I've seen some of those when I was in Rochester, New York in 2020 before I left, when the George Floyd stuff happened. People were burning down their old neighborhoods. People died. People lost businesses. They'll never come back. Now, I'm not saying January 6th was good or bad. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, comparing the two, it wasn't even close. So when you have two sides of the fence, one side saying, well, wait a minute, The right side saying, now, wait a minute. These guys protested, burned cities down, and took over city blocks of police officers, police officer headquarters, and all this other stuff, and nothing was done. Barely no arrests were made, and all this other stuff. And we were told to stay in the house and all this crap, and then we go and do peacefully protest at January 6th, and there were some people that got messed up, or some people that did do some wrong things. And then, according to the right, Fed agents were put into the crowd to fake like they were MAGA and all the stuff that the right says. And on top of that, Tucker Carlson and some right-wing pundits came out and showed some of the footage of people getting let in and stuff like that. It's like, wait a minute, why aren't the Democrats saying that this was wrong when all they do is talk about January 6th when it comes to destruction, chaos, and violence? They never talk about what they did, and neither does the mainstream media. And that's objectively speaking. When I see these guys on the streets, especially from the Democratic side, saying that all they talk about is January 6th, that's like a marketing tool. That's their corporation, January 6th. This is what proves that Republicans and MAGA are bad. They never take responsibility for what Antifa and Black Lives Matter and the rest of those organizations did all over the country. They just don't. So when you have that pent up frustration on both sides, where they think that Democrats think that January 6th was bad and the Republicans will do it again, and vice versa with the Black Lives Matter and Antifa, if anybody does something wrong, they're going to look at it from their side and think, see, you're just like the January 6ers, or you're just like Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all that's building and boiling up underneath the surface. And I think we're cruising for a bruising. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm trying to look out into the future and skate to where the puck is going and have critical thinking skills. Meanwhile, I see, a lot of Republicans say that Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong. Well, in hindsight, and I forgive him for it, but in hindsight, I don't like how he handled COVID-19. I don't like how much money printing there is. And a lot of people say, oh, that was Congress. That may be true, but everything comes to the president's desk. And I know he was trying to help people and stuff like that, but he did campaign in 2016, 2015, that he was going to lower the debt. But he took it from 19 something trillion to 26 trillion. And I didn't like that. Again, it's not blue versus red. They all print money right now. Again, we went through a history. Now, most of that 7 million was during the COVID-19 stuff, and he was trying to help people. And I get that, but nobody knows about the monetary policies better than Donald Trump. So I didn't like the way he did that. I didn't like the way he, talked about the vaccines and stuff like that. I just didn't like it, objectively speaking. But on the other side of the coin, the Democrats are still talking about Trump. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is the president. Who cares what Trump is? Trump is not the president. Why don't you worry about who's the president now? But again, the Trump derangement syndrome, the TDS, and I believe there is something, and these people need to be studied. Seriously. Because you vote for one man because you hate another guy, and we're over 3 years into the presidency, and you're still talking about the other guy? I mean, come on, man. We got a massive invasion at the southern border that they don't like to talk about. And if you do talk about it, oh, it was like that under Trump too. No, it wasn't. It was not. I mean, we have way more people coming in. Everybody said Donald Trump was racist for wanting to put up the wall. And then inflation, again, on the backs of what Donald Trump did in 2020, Biden just picked up the baton and printed even more. And these omnibus bills that keep getting passed, again, this is why I don't play the Republican-Democrat game. You can't have these passed with a Republican House who has the majority without the Republican vote. And guess what the Republicans did? Besides the Freedom Caucus and America First congressmen, they passed that bill. So again, when you hear them say a bipartisan bill, again, all that is a uniparty bill. And for them to sign a $1.2 trillion bill and put a bunch of nonsense in it, most of the stuff that's not going to help the country, and sending money some places else when we're already almost 35 trillion in debt, almost. and to print 1.2 trillion is crazy. Let me show you guys what $1 trillion look like in scale and for context. Take a look. $1.2 trillion to be exact. They did another 1.4 in 2022, and they did a 1.1 or something like that in 2023 or whatever. Bitcoin's market cap, guys, is 1.3, 1.4 trillion, something like that. That's a lot of money, and you see how much money that is. So basically what the United States of America just did, Republicans and Democrats, is they decided to print Bitcoin's market cap with the swoop of a pen. This is why I tell you guys how important Bitcoin is. You can't print it. You can't make it out of thin air. Money's supposed to be hard to get. And to me, the number one situation in America is the border and what's going on with these children and the division of this country. But what's one of the top 5 ones is inflation. And there's only one place inflation comes from, and that's Washington, D.C. And you guys know that.
The reason we have inflation in the United States, or for that matter anywhere in the world, is because these pieces of paper and the accompanying book entries, or their counterparts in other nations, are growing more rapidly than the quantity of goods and services produced. The truth is, inflation is made in one place and one place only, here in Washington. This is the only place where there are presses like this that turn out these pieces of paper we call money.
And it's crazy what's going on right now. And just because the US dollar ship is sinking slower than the other ships around the country, when you see the US dollar, because they compare it to those other six currencies, those basket of currencies, it makes the US dollar look good. But compare it to Bitcoin. Put Bitcoin as a denominator of US dollars. That'll show you the real sinking of the ship. And it's all going to zero compared to Bitcoin. It just is. And if you don't understand that, I always tell you to study Bitcoin. I do. Now, is Bitcoin the end all be all? No. Because if it was, I wouldn't be talking about the stuff I was talking about earlier. Again, God, family, country, Bitcoin. I believe we're a godless, or for the most part, a godless society. We make fun of people that are Christians and make fun of pastors and people that have a faith. We make fun of them. Meanwhile, we boost up the transgender community and that religious or that cult, because it's a cult, and say that's okay. We try to convince people that a man could be a woman and vice versa. And if you don't believe that, you're transphobic. Where's this country gone, guys? Where's this country gone? At the end of the day, I tell you guys this all the time. You have to be responsible for you and yours. And it's your job to understand how the world works. I can't tell you what to do, and I won't tell you what to do, but I can give you a little bit of a nugget and say this. Don't play the low-level Republican Democrat game, because that's exactly what they want you to do. Be a free thinker, freedom keeper in your house, and a truth seeker. Do those 3 things, and you will not fail. Trust me. I'm not going to tell you to read your Bible. I'm not going to preach to you, because this is not a religious channel. This is a monetary, somewhat political channel. So let me say this to you. They printed out Bitcoin's market cap just like that. Our debt is through the roof, and our kids and our grandkids are going to have to pay for that. And the only way you're going to help do that is get out of the fiat currency system, this broken, cheating system, because it cheats you. It's theft. When they print money, they're not exactly taking the money out of your wallet. But the dollars you have on your wallet, they're taking away the purchasing power by printing more and debasing the currency. There's only one money that does not get debased. And I'm not talking about silver or gold. It's Bitcoin. That's the only one. It is deflationary. It's the complete exact opposite of what the US dollar is doing. It was made to be deflationary. Now, whether you believe that or not, that's completely up to you. But I do, because I've studied it. I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to do anything like that. But what I am telling you to do, because you're watching my channel and I talk about it every day, is study it. Study it. And I'm going to warn you that that rabbit hole is something else, man. It's a crazy rabbit hole. And when you get down and you understand what's going on, because most of you guys, 90% of you guys, understand how the system works already as precious metal stackers, and you think precious metals are the way. And it is great. Precious metals are great and compared to fiat currencies, but compared to Bitcoin, coming from a critical thinking, both sides of the coin, no pun intended, perspective, Bitcoin is much, much better. And when you study it, you find out why. Don't let these people steal your kids' future and your grandkids' future. Don't let them do it. There's only one way to stop it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you that, whether you believe it or not. And again, take a hard look at it and reserve your energy in the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.